Good evening, everyone. I'll call the City Council to order on Monday, February 22nd at 8 p.m. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For this council meeting, we'll be implementing the governor's executive order regarding relief for the open meeting law. This allows the councilors to participate remotely. All votes will be via roll call. There is one public hearing, and I will go over the process for participating in the public hearing before agenda item number 3. There are 22 items on this evening's agenda, and I will now ask the clerk to call the roll to confirm attendance.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner is present.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette is present.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas is present.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera is present.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish is present.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin is present.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landers is present.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram is present.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing is present.
Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman is present.
And Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby is present.
11 present, sir.
Okay, all councilors are present, either remote or in chamber. I will now ask the clerk to read agenda item number 1.
Minutes, City Council meeting, February 8th, 2021.
Mr. President,
Councilor Tenera.
accept and place on file, please.
Motion is made and seconded to accept and place on file the minutes. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landers votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Oh, he's frozen.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram is back after technical difficulty again. I'm going to have to trade this laptop in if it keeps up.
And you vote how, Councilor?
I missed about 30 seconds of the meeting. Are you motioning to approve the minutes?
Yes, sir.
I don't motion, I accept. And, well, Councilor Oram says yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to accept and place on file the minutes is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 2.
From Council President Ossing, Council President Ossing, having Mayor Vigent provide an update to the City Council regarding COVID-19 vaccine rollout.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, for giving me a couple minutes tonight to kind of talk about a few things that are going on. It's really taking place pretty quickly these days. Quick update, the schools opened up today for another group of children that will be going back. We've been going with about a third of our students through the entire school year. There's been about a third in the whole time, and now we're bringing back the rest of them in a couple of different groups. So they're getting back into the classrooms. We're still doing testing on a daily basis, 5 days a week, down at the New England Sports Center through the Marlborough Hospital. Thank them again for all their efforts. Last week, just to give you an idea, the numbers are down from what we were doing at our peak, but the hospital alone did over 2,000 tests last week, so there's still quite a bit of activity down there. And the good news that's come out of those tests is we finally dropped back down to the yellow in the state. So we're going in the right direction. We haven't been at these numbers. We have about 70 active cases in the city right now. We haven't had those numbers actually since Veterans Day. So it's been a little while. We were at 3.9%. So we're excited about that, and we're going to keep that going. So far, we've administered, our health department has administered 1,126 vaccines through Phase 1 and has started Phase 2. So although we've only done 1,126, it doesn't include what's been done by Bouvier's Pharmacy, by the hospital, and by private physicians in other areas in the city. So it's substantially more than that. CVS has been in doing some of our assisted living facilities, so we wish we had a way to track that, but there really is no system in place statewide to watch that number. But we're working through Phase 1. We started Phase 2. We are having a clinic tomorrow that was scheduled for last week, but it was postponed because of the snow. For 75 and older population, we have very, very limited doses. But if you are over 75 and want a vaccine, please contact the Senior Center at 508-485-6492. 508-485-6492, and we'll get you on the schedule. We are going into Phase 2 now. That's the over 65 group, but we still want to finish up the few of our seniors that are left out there. And it's been very frustrating. As I stated at the last meeting, we were told that we would not be getting any additional doses for the balance of February, for first round doses. They will send us second round doses, but no first round doses through the end of February. Actually a couple days prior to the announcement of the governor's new plan of opening up some, what I'm calling mini mega sites, we have to guarantee 750 doses a day of vaccine. We stepped up to the plate working with Marlborough Hospital, and we're hoping that this site is up and going on Monday. It's all still tentative right now. We haven't got the final approval from the state, but we've been working through them, and I want to thank both the governor and Lieutenant Governor Polito for their help in pushing this. I think they heard us loud and clear that we're ready to go. We're ready to be team partners, and we want to get these vaccines out in the street. So it looks like we're going to be back in business. It is going to be a destination site, so it's not just going to be Marlborough residents, but that's all I could get. So I'm taking what I can get, and 750 doses a day will go a long way. So as soon as we have the final written okay from the state, we're going to get that up on our website, hopefully get a lot of our residents in there early, and get them vaccinated as soon as possible. Hopefully we have that ready to be announced within the next 48 hours. Our proposal has gone to Boston. John Garside and myself, the hospital, and Trish Bernard, my aide, have been working through the weekend on trying to get this going. We just found out about it. I think the Lieutenant Governor called me on Wednesday of last week. We couldn't do anything until it was announced on Friday, and then we've been working since then, working with the hospital, and we're hoping this location, we're looking to get down at the Marriott. We've already worked with the Marriott and secured the space down there. They're not technically open at this time, but they're hoping to get back open on April 1st. So this will give them a little bit of transition into getting back in the mode of having people in the building. So we were down there doing an inspection today. IT is working, or the IT department from the hospital is working on the logistics for getting everything working, but we're all excited to get going. The hospital's already moving their patients that are lined up for vaccines to get down to the Marriott. So that's the update I have for you tonight. So I'm a lot more positive than I was at the last meeting. Kind of excited about this because we just want to get these vaccines rolled out. I know the state's been strapped with their allocation, but we need some out here, not just at the mega sites. So with that, I'll be more than happy to take any questions from any of the councilors.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So if I can just summarize to make sure everybody heard the same thing. You've worked with the administration to get a mini site set up for Marlborough. It's going to do 750 vaccinations a day. Tentatively start next week. All tentative. I just want to make sure people
All
hear the word tentative. Nothing's final. When it is final, it'll be on the website. And that location for that would be at the Marriott over on,
That's correct, and it will be by appointment only, so,
And-
you know, that we're hoping it runs as smooth as the clinics that we have had down at the senior center. We were doing north of 250 tests with the team we had in place down at the senior center. The hospital's figuring it's gonna be about a dozen nursing staff to get through an 8-hour day, and we're excited to get back in the vaccine game.
that's encouraging news, Mr. Mayor. Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and it's absolutely great news. Thank you for your team for all the work getting done here. The Marriott, is that the one on Forest Street?
Excuse me?
Where's which hotel is the Marriott?
Oh, the Felton Street.
Felton Street, okay, thank you. Yep, that was my big question.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and your staff. Quick question. So when the website is up and running, residents would be able to do appointments through the City of Marlborough's website?
At this point, they have to go through the state's program.
Yeah.
And anyone that does have issues can call down to the senior center. They'll walk you through it.
Thank you.
They'll help you get through the process. If you don't have a computer, they could take care of that for you. But we're hoping to find a way to kind of get around that a little
Thank you.
bit.
No, because that was a question that I had, that some residents were very concerned with the website.
At this point, it's all through the state site.
Thank you. And the other question quickly is, would this be for Phase 2 as well, for resident 65?
Yeah, well-
Because some residents had reached out to me, they're 70, they're not 75, and they're in between. So that was my second.
At this point, it's over 65 and 2 comorbidities. We're working on the 2 comorbidities because that was only at the mega sites. We're a mini mega site, so maybe we can get away with just doing the 65 right now, but we just want to get people in and get them vaccinated.
I understand. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilor Landers and then Councilor Orem.
Okay,
Councilor
thank you,
Landers.
Mr. President. Mr. Mayor, will they be capable of doing 750 per day out at the Marriott?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it. I mean, the hospital's obviously the lead in this, and we're working with them. All our signatures went on the agreement that went to the state today. We're signing the agreement for the lease of the property. But, yeah, 750 a day, I think, you know, like I said, we were doing north of 250 with our team alone, with the help of the students from Assabet down at the senior center. So when the hospital brings in their whole team, I'm pretty confident.
Very good. I give you a lot of credit, Mr. Mayor, for accomplishing this. Now, the other concern I have a little bit is the second shot. Well, like the Marriott, you said it's going to be opening up April 1st. That's, 1 month. Will we be through our second shot phase at that time, or how will that work out?
Yeah, the biggest problem we're having with the second shot, it's almost like you have to go back to where you got it, and you have to remember to go back 3 weeks later, so.
And it's the same manufacturer?
Yeah, once this is set up, we'll be doing both the first and the second shots there.
Okay.
So my
okay.
hope is it's gonna be 750 first vaccines, and then additional ones for the second ones. So we'll be doing more than 750.
And I think it's an ideal spot, right off of 495 and 20.
Right, exactly.
For our people and then others that come out of state. Well, congratulations again, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Landers. Councilor Orem.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a couple questions for the mayor, and first and foremost, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of the entire council, that we we want to give our condolences to everyone that has passed due to this horrific pandemic we're going through, as it was done today at the national level. I think it's very important. We've lost so many people right here in Marlborough. So again, my condolences to all the families and members, and I speak not just on my own behalf, but I'm sure every city councilor here would have said the same thing. So again, that is very much concerning, and I'm glad to hear the mayor's working as hard as ever to address this with the Board of Health, the school nurses, and our medical teams throughout the city. The questions I have for the mayor start off with the first one. In the schools, in reading the school committee last meeting they had in January, I was reading that the difficult decisions that the school committee had to make in respect to starting school today, especially in January when the numbers were very high. Did I hear correctly we're going to be doing testing pools within the schools?
We lined up a program with the Marlborough Hospital for this past vacation week to have we try to encourage as many of the students and the families to get out for testing as we could. We wanted to try to get everyone tested before they came back, but we are going to do testing in the schools themselves. It's going to be the rapid test, so we'll be continuing that through the balance of the year.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, will that be a weekly basis testing
I'm not
process?
sure exactly what the superintendent and John Garside have worked out as far as the number of times of the testing, but we have thousands of those tests that have been stored, waiting for this opportunity to use them.
And the second question is related to the actual signing up for a vaccination. As you go to the website, you obviously, if you haven't, you have to put your zip code in. And did I hear that Marlborough's site at the Marriott will take only Marlborough residents? So if they put in their zip code, they're going to get priority, or is this open to everyone within the state?
This is open to everyone in the state. That was the only caveat that I couldn't sell in Boston. That it's I was hoping to get maybe a smaller number, but excuse me, a smaller number, but just Marlborough residents, and I wasn't able to pull that off. So it's the entire state.
And I respect that. I'm not challenging you in any way, but all I can say is expect that the 750 doses will probably fill in within an hour.
Yeah.
It's just the way the site's working. If you go on the site, you'll notice most sites are all already at capacity. It's very difficult to get an appointment. People are having troubles, so it's nice the state did allow us to have a separate site in Marlborough, but unfortunately, I think it's not going to serve the Marlborough residents the way I would hope it would. But again, I understand, Mr. Mayor, what you're dealing with the state. And one other question, you may have mentioned it, I don't know if I heard you correctly. We've been testing for COVID-19, I believe, at the skating rink. Is that going to continue? I heard you say at one time it was continuing, and then I'm not for sure. Is that still continuing, that COVID-19, not vaccines, the testing for COVID-19?
My understanding, and the last conversation I had with the hospital about it was, I think, Thursday or Friday. The testing will continue. Their contract, I believe, is up through the end of March at this point. Whether the state continues it after that, we're not sure. But right now, we're committed to the end of March. Down at the New England Sports Center, drive-in. Today was a little bit hectic, but several times last week I was down there, and it was running pretty smoothly and going quickly.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And as you've already seen through vaccinating our first responders, our Board of Health and our school nurses and other medical people did a fine job. I think, unfortunately, and I've asked John Garside to respond to me, I'm still waiting for a response. If we ever had, not a pandemic, not waiting for a vaccine to be produced, but say we had an anthrax situation, every city and town in Massachusetts, all their health departments are to be trained. I'm trained, I'm sure John is as well, and have pandemic planning on the shelf. And I'm going to ask you and John present that to the city council, hopefully at the next meeting. This pandemic's one thing, but what worries me too is, are we ready to address an issue such as anthrax? Because in that case, you have to vaccinate everyone in Marlborough within 48 hours. And if we're not, as you heard me ask at the Finance Committee, do we need to have additional resources at the Board of Health level? So keep that in mind. I'm very concerned about it. I'm waiting for Mr. Garside to respond to my email. It's been about 2 weeks now, but I'm very concerned and want to make sure Marlborough's at its best point of being ready for any issues in respect to public health. Thank you.
I could tell you, Counselor, we won't be seeing it for a little bit, only because of the time constraints of him and his department now. They're dedicated, and they've been working through the weekend. John's done a great job. Our nursing staff has stepped it up. But once this is a little bit behind us and we can take a breath, we'll take a look at that for you.
That's fine, but let's hope we don't have an issue of that nature in between all this. That would be a terrible storm, I agree, but at least correspond with me on what you do have available for pandemic planning so I can at least be aware of it. Having the background, I'm
Counselor,
very familiar with it. I
Counselor,
want to make sure we're prepared. We should be prepared, and if we're not, I know there's been a lot of changes at the Board of Health level. If not, I'd be more than glad to help out in any way possible to make sure we're always prepared for any type of public health issue. Thank you.
Council Oram, this is focused on COVID-19. Council Perlman.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Mayor Vigent, for the really exciting news of getting a testing site, a vaccination site here. I think that's really wonderful, and I know that's a lot of work working with the state, so I really appreciate that, and definitely echo the condolences that Councilor Ora mentioned, and hopefully we could do some sort of memorization in the city. My question is regarding if there's a wait list available. I know in the past with some of the local vaccination clinics that there was a wait list. And I'm just wondering if there is something in place, hopefully for this new vaccination site. If people don't come to their appointments, is there a backup list who could be contacted so those vaccinations are not wasted?
There will be, but again, we have to go through the state program for this one, unlike, although we work with the state at the local vaccination clinics, we obviously had control for the Marlborough residents for that one. This one's going to be a little bit different, but we're not wasting any vaccines, I promise you that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I know that's been a real concern to make sure they're all utilized, and I don't want to have anyone miss their appointments and then the vaccination not be used. So I appreciate that being addressed. So thank you.
Councilor Navin, you're all set? Anyone else? With that, thank you, Mr. Mayor. We appreciate the update and look forward to getting that mini clinic up and running as soon as possible.
No, thank you very much, Council and Mr. President. Like I said, the hospital has done an unbelievable job working through the weekend. John Garside and his team, Trish Bernard, I want to thank them all, but hopefully we're up and going next week and everyone gets their vaccine on time. Last thing I just want to drop on you before the next meeting, the house that you allowed the MEDC to buy down at Elm Street to carve off a piece of land was sold as of Friday. So hopefully next meeting I'll be coming down with a transfer from the MEDC back to the city and transfer the lot over to the city. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Agenda item number 3.
Now is the time for the public hearing on the application for a signed special permit from Serato Signs LLC on behalf of Starbucks, 133 South Bolton Street, order number 21-100-8199A.
Again, reminder, a couple of pointers before we start the public hearing. Please keep your computer and phone muted when not speaking. Unmute to speak and mute when finished speaking. And if you're calling in via phone, you can unmute by pressing *6. Just like if this was a public, was in the chambers, please be respectful while waiting for your turn to speak. The system does not work well when everyone tries to speak at once. We will do our best to give each individual an opportunity to speak, so please be patient. Do not watch the meeting on TV. There is a delay. Your remote access capability is real time. Should there be a technical issue, we will recess and determine if they can be corrected. And then at the conclusion of the public hearing, the council will take a quick recess to clear participants, and then the council will continue with the remainder of the agenda. So with that, this public hearing will be taken in 4 stages. Public speaking in favor, questions from the public, public speaking in opposition, and questions from the city council. So with that, the first portion of the public hearing is public speaking in favor. If there's any members of the public speaking in favor, please state your name and address, please. Are there any members of the public Which individual?
James Matsikas, 30 Bridge Street.
I'm sorry?
James Matsikas, 30 Bridge Street, Marlborough.
Yes, Jamie, you're speaking in favor?
No, I'm not speaking for favor on that.
Okay, so hang on, you'll get your turn. This is for public speaking in favor.
Okay.
No, be patient, we'll get to you. Public speaking in favor. Is there any member of the project that wishes to speak in favor?
Mr. President, this is Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you. If the applicant is not present at the meeting, can we postpone this to the March 8th meeting?
Yes, we can.
Do I need to move to do that?
Well, I believe the applicant's
I'm sorry.
on.
I know I'm supposed to wait my turn. This is Andy from Serrato Signs. I thought I needed to be addressed before I could present this. I'm sorry.
No, it's you. So I'm sorry, Andy, can you please state your name and address again?
Yeah, my name is Andy from Serrato Signs. I'm out of 15 Dewey Street, Worcester, Mass. Do you need me to present anything at this time when you're asking if I'm speaking in favor or?
Well, yes, you're the applicants. You're presenting. What do you want? What are you presenting for the council to review this evening?
So what they have is an order screen that they needed a special permit for. They needed permission through the city council. My understanding is all the menu boards and everything was approved by city council, but being the menu board is an LED screen, it needed permission through the city council. So what happens is the vehicle, when it pulls up in front of the screen, the microphone goes on. The customer will ask what they were looking for a product. The product is listed on the screen. The total comes, the driver drives off, and after the driver does drive off, the screen does go blank. And then when the next vehicle does go up in front of the screen again, the same thing will happen. During this time, when there's nothing happening, or nobody ordering, there's just a blank screen. There's nothing that would be any distracting to any neighbors.
Anything else you'd like to add, Andy?
There's currently one at the on the Route 20 location. Besides that, no, it's no larger than the screen itself is no larger than a TV screen. I'd say it's 24 inches wide, 36 inches tall. And that's all I have to add.
Thank you, Andy. Are there any other members of the public speaking in favor? Any other members of the public speaking in favor? Are there any other members of the public speaking in favor? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing. Next portion is questions from the public. Are there any members of the public that have questions on the application? Any members of the public that have any questions? And again, it's *6 if you're on your phone to unmute. Any members of the public that have any questions? Hearing none, I'll close that part of the public hearing. Public speaking in opposition. Mr. Mastikas, if this is the part you want to participate in?
For the LED sign?
That is correct.
Well, I don't have any plans or anything to let me know where this is going to be set up. So I have no idea of what it's going to look like and what's going to power it. And I can't really say much about it, except that I really don't want this on my property. There must be a better spot than somewhere on Bridge Street or just on the corner here. There's so much land that's not used on the front. I think it should be looked at a little bit closer.
Okay, this is a permit to put the drive-through sign at the back portion of the Starbucks, which is facing the residence on, I believe it's John Street. Not
John
Bridge.
Street, yes.
Yeah, so it would be facing the residents on John Street. I don't know if that helps. The plans are available in the council office. This will be taken up in Urban Affairs, where I'm sure they will have presentations from the applicant as well, Mr. Mastikas, if that helps.
It will help, but still, it's something I need to see and understand because it's kind of new to me right now. I think it should be looked at through, my eyes a little bit better, but I can't see what your plan is because I went to the site, but I couldn't find anything to look at. So I don't know what to say right now, except for I don't think I'm interested in seeing a sign on my property when it's more closer to John Street than it is on Bridge Street.
Yeah, I'm just trying to pull it up quickly on the GPS system. Yeah, I'm not sure if it would impact you, but I'd rather have you see that for yourself when you see the plans.
Okay.
But you will be recorded as an opposition, Mr. Mastikas, for this particular sign application.
Okay.
And, Mr. President, this is Councilor Roby. Just as a point of order, can he spell his name and repeat his address so that I have it also, please?
Yes. Matissikis, 30 Bridge Street.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. President, point of order.
Councilor Orem.
Yes, most presentations we see what they're asking for. Did the applicant submit any plans that we can put up on the screen so the person that just had concerns can see what we're talking about? Or is this something that we did not get a plan yet for?
Well, the city council approved the plans back when we did the special permit a year and a half ago time frame, and then it's the special permit for the sign came into question through the planning board because it impacted the sign that they wanted to put for their drive-through, impacted the 200-foot buffer between sign and residential neighborhood. So that's what's before us. The sign
But the question was, Mr. President, in all respects, the question is there a plan that can be put up for this review during this public hearing process?
No, there is not. It's not our job, Councilor Orem, to put the applicant's work on the screen. That's their job to provide that.
Mr. President, I agree with you 100%. It's not our job, it's the applicant's job. It would have made this hearing a little bit easier for the people that wanted to see it.
I'm going to make a motion to continue the public hearing until our March 8th meeting, where I expect the applicant to come back and have documentation or diagrams to show what the location of the sign is and what they're doing, so that the interested parties that may want to comment on it have an idea what's going on. So with that, I will ask for a continuation of the public hearing till March 8th, 2021 at 8 p.m.
Could I ask a question? Is there somebody in that city that I could get some guidance from? Because we submitted all this paperwork.
Yep.
And the woman that we were dealing with was very difficult to deal with, and all she ever said was, read the paperwork.
Yep.
And we sent in everything on this, so I'm not sure what's missing.
Okay, I will have you contact the city council office, 508-460-3711, and we'll walk you through that process.
All right, who should I speak with?
You can ask for Karen.
Is there somebody else we could deal with?
If you need someone other than Karen, you're going to have a challenge.
Okay.
All right,
Because I'm not quite sure what's not submitted or what I need to submit. That hasn't been submitted several times already.
2-minute recess. City Council is back in session at 8:37. We'll continue on the agenda to agenda item number 4.
No, sorry, Mr. President, a point of order.
Councilor Roby.
I do not believe as president you can make motions. And I don't believe it was an actual official vote. It's my understanding, as you indicated, this went through a special permit process by the city. I know the applicant contacted the neighbors as the site was first developed, as it was changed, as houses were purchased, and the plans were developed. So I'm not sure where this person who is speaking tonight is in the scheme of things, but he should have known well before tonight's meeting that this was happening, and he should be able to see where this is going on the site, because I was able to see it and the planning board was able to see it when they walked the site. So I would like to close this public hearing. Let this go to Urban Affairs. Let the Urban Affairs Committee bring a recommendation back, hopefully to let this approval go forward.
So the Councilor Roby's correct, there hasn't been a vote on it, so what's the pleasure of the council? Continue with the public hearing, or continue it to March 8th?
Motion to extend the public hearing through March 8th. Let's go.
Motion made and seconded to continue the public hearing to March 8th. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Council Irish votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
A motion to continue the public hearing to March 8th, 2021 at 8 p.m. is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed. Thank you, Councilor Roby, for the correction. I appreciate it. Agenda item number 4.
Sorry. Communication from the mayor regarding a transfer request in the amount of $10,400,000, which moves funds from ballparks and Fields Capital to undesignated fund to fund various accounts as noted on the transfer sheet to fund infrastructure projects as outlined by DPW Commissioner Dival.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to refer to the Finance Committee, please.
Motion is made and seconded to refer to the Finance Committee. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Council Irish votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
And Counselor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to refer item 4 to the Finance Committee is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 5.
Communication from the mayor regarding a transfer request in the amount of $1,250,101 from the meals tax revenue account to fund FY21 bond payments associated with parks and recreation improvements.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to refer to Finance Committee.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the Finance Committee. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor Irish.
Council Irish votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Rossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to refer the transfer to the Finance Committee is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 6.
Communication from the mayor regarding transfer request in the amount of $459,600, which moves funds from and to various accounts within DPW to fund equipment for the Easterly wastewater treatment plant.
Counselor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to refer to the Finance Committee.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the Finance Committee. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Counselor Irish votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
Motion to refer the transfer to the Finance Committee is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 7.
Communication from the mayor regarding grant acceptance in the amount of $6,380 from the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security awarded to the Fire Department to fund annual student awareness of fire safety programs for the youth of Marlborough.
Counselor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you to Chief Breen and the Marlborough Fire Department. Motion to approve the grant.
Motion made and seconded to approve the grant. Is there any discussion on the motion? Counselor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I just wanted to make note that in the as what was described in the memo with this, over 26 years, the child death rate was reduced by 75% because of this program, which is phenomenal. So,
That is good news.
yes.
Thank you, Counselor Doucette. Any other discussion on the motion? On the motion to approve the grant, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Counselor Irish votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The grant is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 8.
Communication from the mayor regarding grant acceptance in the amount of $2,880 from the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security awarded to the Fire Department to fund annual senior awareness of fire safety programs for the senior population in Marlborough.
Counselor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you to the Marlborough Fire Department, and motion to approve the grant.
Motion made and seconded to approve the grant. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Counselor Irish votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to approve the grant is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 9.
Communication from the mayor regarding request to rescind $4,889,927 in various bonds for projects that are either complete or no longer available for bonding due to regulation.
Counselor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to refer to the Finance Committee.
Motion is made and seconded to refer to the Finance Committee. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Roby. Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes. I'm not sure if we heard who you called before me, though, Mr. Clerk.
It was Counselor Tenera, and he voted yes.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Counselor Irish votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Counselor Landis votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Naden votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to refer the order to rescind the bonds is referred to the Finance Committee. It's approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 10.
Communication from the mayor regarding a request to create a new position of resident drop-off station attendant, including the job description and salary schedule.
Counselor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to refer to the Finance Committee.
Motion is made and seconded to refer to the Finance Committee. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Mr. President, Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram.
Thank you. And I see Mr. Scott's on the call, is when we do have our Finance Committee meeting, if we could maybe get a list of how many people work down there right now. It seems to be run very efficiently. I'm not against formalizing a position, but I was reading there's a foreman and then this position, and I'm just curious how many seasonal workers. So if we could just have that as part of the package for finance, that would be helpful. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Counselor Oram, and I'm sure Mr. Scott looks forward to presenting the information to the Finance Committee. Any other discussion on the motion?
Mr. President?
Counselor Landers.
At that Finance Committee meeting, I will be posing a couple questions. I was just wondering whether, this is enough hours for this person, knowing how many hours that the landfill is open. So, Mr. Scott, if you can have some of the answers for me and others at that time, I think would be a good idea. I think this is a 35-hour position. And I didn't know if between that and then you must have part-timers, as long as you have the necessary coverage there, but I was just curious on that. But that's all. I will ask a few more questions, Mr. Scott, maybe at that time, but probably should be all set. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Landers. Any other questions on the motion to refer to Finance? Counselor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I actually just had one comment about this. There's reference to requiring a Class D license. I know there's a lot of other machines that are in that area. It might be better to have a better grade license than that in case they need to move machines, just as a heads up. So, thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Doucette. I'm sure Mr. Scott is taking notes as we speak and will be ready to roll when it gets to Finance. Any other comments? Seeing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll to refer to the Finance Committee.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Counselor Landis votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Naden votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Counselor Irish votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
11 yeas.
The motion to refer to the Finance Committee is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 11.
Communication from Code Enforcement Officer Ethan Lippett regarding request for approval of a flat wall sign, Apex Mini Golf at 21 Apex Drive, within the Hospitality and Recreation Mixed Use Overlay District, order number 1620-100-6443.
Mr. President, Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to refer this to Urban Affairs Committee.
Motion is made and seconded to refer to the Urban Affairs Committee. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Naden votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Counselor Irish votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Counselor Landis votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
And Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
On the motion to refer the sign request to Urban Affairs, it is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 12.
Communication from Code Enforcement Officer Ethan Lippett regarding request for approval of a flat wall sign, Apex Kids, 21 Apex Drive, within the Hospitality and Recreation Mixed Use Overlay District, order number 1620-100-6443.
Mr. President, Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to refer this to Urban Affairs.
Motion is made and seconded to refer to the Urban Affairs Committee. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor Irish.
Counselor Irish votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Counselor Landis votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
Oram votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
On the motion to refer to the Urban Affairs Committee, it is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item 13.
Communication from Code Enforcement Officer Ethan Lippett regarding request for approval of a freestanding sign, Better Floors, Inc., at 782 Boston Post Road East, within the Wayside District.
Mr. President, Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. Unlike the prior two applications, this one has followed all the rules, is in the Wayside District, and is the reason why it is before us for approval. I move to approve the flat wall sign for Better Floors.
Motion's made and seconded to approve the sign. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Counselor Landis votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Counselor Irish votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to approve the sign is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item 14.
Application for a special permit from Cal Verde Naturals LLC to operate an adult-use marijuana retail establishment at 239 Boston Post Road West.
Mr. President, Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to refer this to Urban Affairs to set a public hearing for March 22nd and to advertise.
Motion is made and seconded to refer the request to Urban Affairs, set a public hearing for March 22nd, and to advertise. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Counselor Irish votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Counselor Landis votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to refer the request to Urban Affairs, set a public hearing for March 22nd, and to advertise is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item 15.
Application for a special permit from Attorney Brian Falk on behalf of Global Montello Group Corp. to construct and operate a drive-through facility to serve the current All-Town convenience store on the site at 656 Boston Post Road East.
Mr. President, Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to refer this to Urban Affairs to set a public date for April 5th and to advertise.
Motion is made and seconded to refer the request to Urban Affairs, set a public hearing for April 5th, and to advertise. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Mr. President, Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram.
If I can, if we could ask the applicant to submit actually what is being sold at this window. My concern is tobacco. I would be very concerned if tobacco is being sold from a takeout window. So if we could ask the applicant that question prior to the Urban Affairs, and then we can discuss it there, I would appreciate it.
Okay, but again, you'll have that opportunity to ask them at the public hearing as well, but I'm sure Councilor Roby will take that up in Urban Affairs, so that's a great point. Any other discussion on the motion? Hearing none. On the motion to refer to Urban Affairs, set a public hearing for April 5th, and to advertise. I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Counselor Landis votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Council Irish votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to refer to Urban Affairs, set a public hearing for April 5th, and to advertise is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item 16.
Communication from Attorney Peter Tam on behalf of BHGRP TCAM Owner LLC regarding a proposed zoning amendment, map amendment to the Results Way Mixed-Use Overlay District and proposed revisions to Chapter 650, Section 33 of the Zoning Code.
Mr. President, Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to refer this to Urban Affairs and the Planning Board to set a public hearing date for March 22nd and to advertise.
Motion is made and seconded to send to Urban Affairs, send to the Planning Board, set a public hearing for March 22nd, and to advertise. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Counselor Landis votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Council Irish votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
And Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Yes, sir.
The motion to refer to Urban Affairs, the Planning Board, to set a public hearing for March 22nd and to advertise is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item 17.
Communication from Attorney Brian Falk on behalf of WP Marlborough Mass Owner LLC regarding a request to extend time limitations to May 28, 2021 at 10 p.m. on the application for a special permit to build a multifamily residential project in the business district to be known as Walcott Heritage Farms at 339 Boston Post Road East, order number 20-100-7995H.
Mr. President, Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to accept and place on file.
Motion is made and seconded to accept and place on file. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Council Irish votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Counselor Landis votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
On the motion to accept and place on file, it is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item 18.
Communication from the Central Mass Mosquito Control Project regarding budget notification for fiscal year 22 and compliance certification policy.
Counselor Oram.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple updates real quick. Marlborough's portion this year is going to be $86,000 and some change. Some of that money, the total amount is partially coming, part of it's coming from the state, $3,689. The nice thing is that there's no increase in the cost for this very important project. It seems like quite a bit of public health is on the agenda tonight. This, helps us to prevent mosquito-borne diseases. So with that said, and they also have 2 new communities coming on board. That's what's keeping it down. Even though their budget's increasing by 2.5%, it's being shared now by the other 2 communities. So with that said, I would ask that it be a motion to accept and place on file.
Motion is made and seconded to accept and place on file. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Counselor Irish votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Council Landis votes yes.
11 yeas.
Motion to accept and place on file is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item 19.
Communication from the Massachusetts Department of Transportation regarding the MBTA Forging Ahead Service Proposal and Environmental Notification Form.
Counselor Tenera.
Thank you, Mr. President. Accept and place on file, please.
Motion is made and seconded to accept and place on file. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Mr. President.
Mr. President,
Counselor Navin, then Counselor Oram.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to make sure that people at home who see this have an opportunity to check it out when we place it on file. The MEPA process is a pretty robust public process, and something such as this, where there's going to be a reduction in services on the MBTA, people should pay attention to. Today, they mentioned at their fiscal control board that there's going to be a reduction in service post-pandemic that will be 75% to 95% of what service was pre-pandemic. So I know a lot of our residents take the commuter rail and rely on it. So I would just want to let people know they can check that out online and sign up for the scoping session when it takes place.
Excellent point, Counselor Navin. Counselor Oram.
thank you. Councilor Navin said the majority of what I was going to point out, but tomorrow, February 23rd at 6 p.m., there is going to be a virtual review. So as noted in our notice, they can go to www.mbta.com/forging ahead, and they will see the invite there if they have any interest. But this, again, is all based on ridership being reduced based on COVID-19. So let's hope down the road we'll get back to a more ridership as we move along.
Thank you, Counselor Oram. Any other comments? Hearing none, on the motion to accept and place on file, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Council Landis votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Counselor Irish votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
Motion to accept and place on file is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 20.
Minutes, boards, commissions, and committees.
Mr. President.
Counselor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Motion to accept and place on files the minutes of the boards, commissions, and committees.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file the minutes. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Mr. President, Councilor Oram.
Counselor Oram.
Just a quick note on the planning board meeting minutes, does have some information on how they viewed the St. Mary's sign. I'm sure we all saw that, but I'd like to thank Councilor Pearlman for her activity with our students and civics. It was noted in the school committee meeting minutes that she's involved with a civics project that's going on within the schools. I think that's commendable. And again, as I mentioned earlier, the school committee should be commended for all the hard work they've had to go through, including the chair, which is our mayor, in respect to school openings and closings through the COVID. So, and I was so happy to see that the school committee still is getting the input of our students. So that's all I have to say.
Any other discussions? On the motion to accept and place on file the minutes, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Counselor Irish votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Council Landis votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
Motion to accept and place on file the minutes is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Claims.
Mr. President.
Sorry.
Claims.
Counselor Doucette.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to send claims to legal.
Motion made and seconded to send claims to the legal department. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor Irish.
Counsel Irish votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Council Landis votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Rossing votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Orem.
Counselor Orem votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Nabin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
And Counselor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to refer the claims to the legal department is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. I apologize for
No, that's
stepping.
quite all right.
Reports of committees. Who would like to go first?
Missed one.
No, number 22.
Yeah, but don't you do reports first, or no?
That was correct.
Number on the agenda.
They got me all messed up here. All right, you are correct. Item 22, I apologize.
Ordered that the City Council Legislative and Legal Affairs Committee review the following proposed amendment to the City Code, Chapter 270, 19, fences.
Mr.
Submitted by
President.
Counselor Doucette, excuse me, sorry.
Counselor Doucette.
Thank you very much. For the record, could I have the clerk read the proposed change?
Chapter 270, Building Site Development, Article 5, Fences, Chapter 270, Section 19, Permit Required, by adding the following Section D. No permit shall be required under this article for the following fences, provided that the fence is in full compliance with all other provisions of this article and all other city ordinances. 1, a fence not exceeding 3 feet in height, which is erected to enclose a garden, or 2, a fence that is erected outside of the front, side, or rear setback areas set forth in the city's zoning ordinance. And Chapter 270, Section 24, Easements and Right-of-Way, by adding the following wording to Section A. On any lot subject to an easement, this is the new wording, quote, where a fence will encroach upon or hinder the use of an easement area, unquote. The owner or applicant shall procure a release in writing from the holder of the easement, and said release shall be attached to the application for a fence filed with the building department.
Counselor Doucette.
Thank you very much. So this started with a couple of complaints from our citizens on our fencing ordinance as it's currently set. This is trying to clarify it. Basically, if you want to put up a 3-foot fence anywhere in your property, you're supposed to get a permit from the city, even a garden fence. So that's at one extreme I'm trying to kind of correct with this. What also came up with the ordinance, with the easement, is basically if there's an easement on your property, then it doesn't matter if they're going to put a fence up, you have to get permission from the person who has the easement, even if it's on the opposite side of the property. So that's the other thing to be cleaned up, and unfortunately, there has been situations where that has been an issue. So I hope that this is going to be submitted to Legislative and Legal Affairs, and they take it up in the most expedited method.
Motion made and seconded to refer to legislative and legal. Is there any discussion on the motion?
I got a quick question, Mr. President.
Counselor.
Have you brought this to attention of the building commissioner?
Yes.
Yeah, he's aware of it.
He is aware of it. He helped me work on this, and also the legal department as well.
All right, everybody's on board. All right, I guess we'll take this up in L&L.
Anyone else? Hearing none, on the motion to refer to the legislative and legal, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Counsel Irish votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Orem.
Counselor Orem votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Council Landis votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
On the motion to refer the order to legislative and legal, it is approved 11-0. Now,
Mr. President, this is Counselor Roby. I probably should have asked this before, but as this is an ordinance change, at some point, does this not have to go to the planning board? Would it be maybe when some clarification is made to number 2 to specify
So I followed up on that question, and if it's 650, the zoning ordinance, that's when our folks in the planning board get involved. If it's just a regular ordinance change, it'll just be advertised when the committee is happy with the final product, and then it'll just get advertised. So the planning board does not have to see this one.
Okay, thank you.
You are welcome. Now can I do reports? Yes. Now it's time for reports of committees. Counselor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Finance Committee met on February 18th. We were live in the chamber as well as councilors remotely. All members were present. We had 5 items on the agenda that evening. First one was order number 21-100-8183, transfer in the amount of $1,504,785.40 from undesignated funds, free cash to OPEB Trust pursuant to financial policies of the city. Motion by Councilor Tenera, seconded by the chair. Recommended approval of the transfer. Motion carried 5-0. Second item was order number 21-100-8184, transfer in the amount of $1,504,785.40 from undesignated funds, free cash to undesignated stabilization pursuant to financial policies of the city. Motion by Councilor Tenera, seconded by the chair, to recommend approval of the transfer. Motion carried 5-0. Third item was order number 21-100-8186, transfer in the amount of $39,447 from various departments for FY21, which moves funds from and to accounts noted in the spreadsheet included with the request. Motion by Councilor Tenera, seconded by the chair, to recommend approval of the transfer. Motion carried 5-0. Fourth item was order number 21-100-8195A, proposed amendment to Chapter 125, Personnel of the City Code, to add a stipend for members of the Conservation Commission for $150 Conservation Commission meetings attended. Motion by Council Oram, seconded by the chair, to recommend approval of the stipend effective April 1st, 2021. Motion carried 5-0. And the last item was order number 21-100-8195B, transfer in the amount of $3,150 to fund Conservation Commission members $150 per meeting stipend through June 30th, 2021. Motion by Council Oram, second by the chair, to recommend approval of the transfer. Motion carried 5-0. Meeting was adjourned at 7:43 p.m. Mr. President, that is the end of my report. I will be asking for one suspension. Motion to suspend to advertise order number 21-100-8195A, the proposed amendment to Chapter 125 Personnel of the City Code, please.
Motion made and seconded to suspend the rules to advertise the Conservation Commission salary ordinance. So motion to suspend the rules. I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Wagner.
Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Council Oram votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Naven.
Councilor Naven votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Pearlman votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landers votes yes.
7 yeas.
Motion to suspend the rules is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to advertise the proposed amendment to Chapter 125 Personnel of the City Code, please.
Motion is made and second to advertise, or send to the solicitor, or to advertise, never mind, send the solicitor. Motion made and seconded to advertise. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll to advertise the salary ordinance.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landers votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Council Oram votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Counselor Irish votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
And Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
Motion to advertise the salary ordinance is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Public
Horace Sullivan.
announcement as well, please. Finance Committee will be meeting on March 1st, 2021.
Understand the Finance Committee will meet March 1st, 2021.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilor Dumas.
Mr. President, just a point of order. Do we have a time yet, Mr. Chairman of Finance?
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Councilor. Yes, we're looking at 6:30 p.m. We have a lot of items on the agenda, so yes, Councilor, 6:30 p.m.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Councilor Dumas.
Thank you, Mr. President. The City Council Personnel Committee met also on February 18th. We started at 6:35. 3 members on the committee were present, 2 in chambers, myself and Council Landers, and Councilor Doucette was remote. There were 5 items on the agenda. All 5 appointments were remote. Order number 21-100-8196, reappointment of James Griffin to the Board of Health for a 3-year term. That was motion by Councilor Lander, second by the chair, and that was motion to carry 3-0. Order number 21-100-8197, appointment of Philip Short to the Board of Health for a 3-year term to expire first Monday in February 2024. It's motion by Councilor Doucette, second by the chair. Motion carried 3-0. Order number 21-100-8178, appointment of Jonathan Steinberg to the Board of Assessors for a 3-year term from date of City Council confirmation. It's motion by Councilor Doucette, second by the chair. Motion carried 3-0. Order number 21-100-8179, appointment of Shanisa Sampson to the Parks and Recs Commission for a 3-year term from date of City Council confirmation. This is a motion by Councilor Doucette, second by the chair. The motion carried 3-0. And lastly, order number 21-100-8177, the appointment of Krista Holme as Chief Procurement Officer for a 3-year term from date of City Council confirmation. Motion by Councilor Doucette, second by the chair. And lastly, that motion also carried 3-0. We adjourned at 7:10. Thank you very much.
Well done. Thank you, Councilor Doucette. Councilor Navin.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The Veterans Affairs Committee also convened on February 18th. The meeting convened at 6:15 p.m. All members of the committee were present virtually and in the chamber. We're also joined by Councilors Irish, Landers, Ossing, Dumas, Doucette, and Roby, and then we're also joined by Mayor Vigent and our city's Veterans Director, Mike Hennessy. We had one item on the agenda. It was order number 21-100-8182, communication from Mayor Vigent requesting renewal of intermunicipal agreement between the City of Marlborough and the Town of Sudbury for veteran services pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 40, Section 4A, and Mass General Law, Chapter 115, Section 10. Agreement in proper form as prepared by the City Solicitor. Mayor Vigent addressed the renewal. There was unanimous agreement that the City of Marlborough and the Town of Sudbury continue to be satisfied with the intermunicipal agreement and services rendered to veterans from both communities. Motion was made by Councilor Orm and seconded by Councilor Perlman to recommend the approval of the renewal of the intermunicipal agreement with the Town of Sudbury. Motion carried 3-0, and the meeting adjourned at 6:34 p.m.
Thank you, Councilor Navin. Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Urban Affairs Committee meeting also was held on February 18th. We were scheduled to begin at 7, but did not start until 7:45 when the other meetings finished. We began with the roll call vote. We had present committee members, myself, Councilor Landers, Councilor Wagner, Councilor Doucette, and Councilor Navin. Other councilors present were Councilor Ossing, Councilor Irish, Councilor Dumas, Councilor Orm, and Councilor Perlman. We also had Speedy Auto Repair's attorney, Brian Falk, and the owner, Junior Oliveira, and Randy Carpenter, the broker. We had before us 3 items. The first one was order number 20-100-8162, the application for a special permit on behalf of Speedy Auto Repair Incorporated to relocate an existing body shop from 315 Maple Street to 418 Maple Street in the Commercial Automotive District with land less than 1 acre and containing a pre-existing non-conforming structure. Therefore, the change of use requires a special permit. Discussion began on the draft special permit, and this remains in committee for further discussion. The second order was order number 20-100-7995B, a request for an extension of time by Attorney Falk to May 28th, 2021, for the application for the special permit by WP Marlborough, Massachusetts owner LLC Wayside Residential, 339 Boston Post Road East, to construct a multifamily dwelling residential project. Councilor Wagner moved to approve the extension of time to May 21st. It was seconded, and the roll call vote was unanimous by the 5 committee members. After that vote, I, as chair, suggested it would be helpful to have the solicitor come to a future urban affairs meeting to discuss in general terms guidance on approving and denying special permit applications with some case law examples. Councilor Wagner had moved to invite the solicitor. A roll call vote was taken, and that carried 5-0. The last item on our agenda was order number 20-108-100, that the City Council consider the feasibility of adopting a process whereby murals will be allowed in the city as a means to further the cultural and artistic value of the city's downtown district. We began discussion on the proposed code changes and the value of murals in general, and this item also remains in committee for further discussion. It was moved and seconded to adjourn. A roll call vote was unanimous, and the meeting adjourned at 9:28. And Mr. President, I believe all the city councilors had received a request from me to ask for a suspension of the rules to clarify the discussion on having the solicitor come to a meeting. Although I was excited about the opportunity and thankful that the committee members did vote, it's my understanding that the committee did not have the right to vote as it was not something properly before them. So I would like to suspend the rules to add an agenda item to have that be put properly before us. Thank you.
Motion made and seconded. Councilor Roby's asked for suspension of the rules to read a communication. Motion's been made and seconded to suspend the rules. I'll ask the clerk to call the roll on the suspension.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Perlman votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
Suspension is approved. Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. I believe the clerk has an order. If you would like to read it, please.
Ordered that the city solicitor be invited to attend a future urban affairs meeting to provide general information to its members regarding approval and denial of special permit applications that may be referred to it. The information can include Massachusetts case law as well as other general information submitted by Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk, for reading that. And Mr. President, I move to refer this to Urban Affairs.
Motion is made and seconded to refer to Urban Affairs. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Perlman votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to refer the order to Urban Affairs is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Councilor Tenera.
Mr. President, motion to adjourn.
Motion is made and seconded to adjourn. I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Perlman votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to adjourn is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. We are adjourned at 9:26. Thank you, everyone.